We're in the middle of creating our DIY kit, and one of the most difficult part about this is going to be the edges. Because here's the thing, with color PPF, you can't really just go right to the edge. You kind of have to go all around the edge. So that's exactly what we're going to figure out in this video. See how I rounded it out a little bit? That's exactly what I was trying to do. Then having something like tweezers is actually very, very helpful. And then once you get to that point, because there's less material, this has to be dry, typically when you're doing this, but you can start folding it into the edges. I think it needs to be a little bit drier, to be honest, but I want to see if I could try it. Yeah, it needs to be a little drier. It was still a little wet when I was doing it, so I'm going to just wait for that and do it later. All right, so one of the things that you kind of want to do is typically for PPF corners, we actually let it rest a little bit. There are some cases where you could just kind of go right away, but we leave a little bit of that, like just excess, just a little bit, and then we kind of want to fold it over. And then what we do is we kill the memory of that film. You got to be very careful because you don't want to burn it completely. So I want to show you kind of what it looks like once it's completely done. But basically, when you use high temp, it burns the memory of the film when you get it really, really high temp real fast. So once you do that, you can basically torch it like this, and then you can see the corner will look like that. You can see the contrast from my fingers. So what you're doing is you are stretching it a little bit, but you're going to have some fingers, but you're killing that memory, and then it stays in around that whatever curvature it is. In this case, it's this corner. So I actually did that already on the other side. I've locked that in. So then that way, when I'm actually working on the fender, I'm not completely done. I don't have to worry about that corner being an issue or anything like that. So in the surrounding areas, I've actually already done all the edges right here. And you can see from here. And if you notice, it kind of goes like, you want a little bit around the corner and then kind of goes outwards, right? That's typical. And like I said in the earlier videos, you want to follow the stamp, right? Follow the stamp of it. And then same thing over here, guys. You can see, let me go ahead and do this one. You can start rolling that in. And you can see the corner looks fantastic. And I can actually start holding that over. Okay. But you can see all the way up to here. And then once you're set in stone, you can kind of use your nails actually to disperse some of that fingers. You can also use the pink squeegee and basically just burn it. And then that's not going anywhere. And then look at what it'll look like from the outside. You see that? So you are burning the film a little bit. I mean, this thing is so high temp. Very, very careful, guys. Don't overdo it. And then you can do the surrounding area. So actually that's done. I mean, since I'm already here, I might actually try to get some of these edges done. Actually, this area, you can use a wrap glove. It's a perfect area for a wrap glove. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically for color vinyl actually, but it's a very smooth glove that you could kind of go around without damaging the film. And then I have my, corner right here. There we go. Okay, great. And then I got my torch right here. I want to use my nail to kind of get some of these other fingers down first. Then I could torch it a little bit. This is what it looks like from the outside right here. So now this torch, it locks in that area, and then you can kind of keep going. So typically, for gloss and matte, I feel like it's easier, in my opinion, to do the edges, even when it's like wet, and you could kind of use water or even like just straight up alcohol or not alcohol, sorry, water and water and alcohol, and then kind of push it down. Color PPF, I found it a lot easier to kind of lock it in when it's dry. So I do kind of like to just let it dry a little bit, and then I just move on to the next piece in the next panel. So you can see me kind of push that in. I'm going to go ahead, since I'm already here, I want to finish it out. So you can see from that side. This is nice because you can actually see, and you can see it goes right to that stamp mark. Slightly short, but that's okay. It's getting all that full coverage from the back side. But you want to make sure that it wraps around all the way around. Oh, I'm dizzy over here. But honestly, after we're done with that, we're done with the hood. It's completely sealed. I don't have to worry about it. Might be able to reach the middle. Oh yeah. Totally missed this whole section. This is not going to be good. Andy won't be happy with the whole section just completely not even done. Sorry. But that's what we do. QC. We check all the work before it goes out. You know, one of the things that is challenging sometimes when doing this is like, I'm not a great multitasker. So sometimes, actually all the time, I struggle with trying to rap and trying to do a video at the same time. My brain's like goes nuts. So this is a challenge because I think rapping alone is a challenge, but to do a video and then try to explain a couple things here and there, next level. So I'm still working on that. But yeah, that pretty much is it. I am going to check a couple of the edges. So I just want to be very transparent with this process, is that it's still in a beta phase. You can see I squeezed some water out right there. There's a couple areas like here where it's a little long, so I might trim that later down the line, but this is why we do what we do. And we just kind of test it all, you know, do some trimming here and there. But what I was looking for is, look at this edge right here. No bubbles or anything like that. And you can feel it if there's a bubble here. The corners look fantastic all around. So hood is done. Let's go ahead and move on to the fender.